Welcome to Radio Fixer's channel. Subscribe for upcoming videos. In this video, we discuss how to rebuild vintage paper and molded capacitors for high-value antique electronic equipment. Rebuilding a vintage paper capacitor, often called restuffing, is one of the best way to preserve the original appearance of the antique radio while giving it the reliability of the modern capacitor. This technique is commonly used by museum restorers and experienced collectors when restoring valuable vintage electronic equipment. You might ask, why rebuilding instead of replacing these capacitors? Let me try to explain why I'm doing this crazy stuff. Hopefully this will answer your questions. There are two reasons for it. One, I like to fix or restore the radios as original look as possible. No shortcut for me, you know. Number two, collectors pay much more for high-value radio when restored as close to original. I've seen this through the years. Collectors are paying much more for the radios when restored as close to original as possible. So you don't really need to do this. This is for those of you that like, restore or fix the radio to close to original condition as possible. Hopefully this helps. And to make your job easier to find all these videos per category, select playlist, and each categories are located right here. Also, I have added every tool product that I'm using in the description section of the video, so feel free to check it out. When you're working in the vintage radio or other electronic equipment, especially the tube type, there are several capacitors on the chassis. I already made a video how to create this type of capacitor. I'm going to add it up here. Feel free to check it out. It will walk you through a step by step how to accomplish something like that. Also, there are a capacitor like this that I have another video that it will discuss how to rebuild capacitor like this. I'm going to again add the picture of that video, so feel free to check it out. It will help you step by step how to rebuild this type of capacitor. So those two other videos, it will cover all this type of, they call it electrolytic capacitors. So in this video, we're not going to talk about that, since we have other videos which is explain in detail how to rebuild those capacitors. We're not going to spend that much time on those. Part 1 of this video, we're going to focus on paper capacitor, and second part, we're going to focus on molded capacitor. Let's get started. This type, is actually a cardboard tube that they install the capacitor inside here, and in the end they add some type of like a beeswax to seal it on both sides. Always these are marked so you know what values they have. MFD, it means microfarad. Of course, this is, the voltage, that's the DC voltage. The microfarad, this one is 0.047, and that's a 600 volts. So that's how you read them. The other one called bumblebee capacitor. These are exactly like those, but they are marked differently. These bands, it will show you what type of the value this capacitor it has. I built a database that usually I key these colors into that database, and it tells me what value of this capacitor it is. And usually they are molded like this. See how it molded? It's very different than the other one again, but capacitor inside the same thing. They have different type of molded capacitor like this one as well. And you see again the value here, it shows again 600.07. See, again, it's molded. That's another type of molded capacitor. Again, the type of value, this is the 0.47, that's 400 volts DC. All right, let me walk you through step by step how to do this. Let's talk about the best way to remove this capacitor. First, I suggest very highly, if you're a beginner, remove one at a time. Do not remove all of them, because believe me, you're going to forget. Each capacitor has a positive and negative side. Negative always has a band here. You see, each of them, they have those bands. Of course, the positive is the other side. So when you reinstall in them, make sure to put them in correct position. So let's assume you're going to remove these capacitors. Take several pictures, different direction of the both wires where you connected. Then of course I use, as you see here, small cutter to cut this out. Usually both sides of this capacitor has a long wires, yet can be soldered back to where you remove the old one. Sometimes because there is not enough space, the best way is do not unsolder it from the two pins that this wire has been soldered, especially that if there are several wires attached to that pin. Those two pins right here, they're very fragile. So I suggest cut them pretty close to capacitor. Cut it right here, pretty close to the capacitor, both sides. Leave enough wire so later on you can resolder the new one to those wires. And I will show you how to do that. Hopefully that makes sense why we are doing this. Let's focus on paper capacitors. I want to show you quickly. You see how close I cut them to these capacitors. That's what I meant when you're removing them. And there are several methods to do this job. I'm going to use the old soldering iron to remove capacitor from inside this cardboard tube. Let me show you what I do next. These are the few things that I use to work on these capacitors. Of course, a paper towel, glove to protect my hand, a couple of different sizes of the glue stick from glue gun, cheap soldering iron, razor, and also longer screw like this. I will show you how to use this, alright? I'm going to use a paper towel here to be able to hold here. I'm trying to protect the gloves because it gets so dirty, as you can see. I'm using pretty cheap soldering iron. I'm not using my good soldering iron for this project. So the first goal is, to remove the fax. As you see, it started smoking. So I'm going to try to remove this side first. It will take a little time. Just be patient because you don't want to damage the cardboard tubing. Our goal is to save that, right? So gradually I melt this. The hotter this becomes, the fastest melts all the wax. My experience shows this is the best way to do it. Some people, they put it in the oven. Some people, they use heat gun. But this way it works much better for me. Majority of them, being filled with beeswax. Sometimes you will see sometimes filled with epoxy. See, it melted pretty fast. You see that? See, it's just dripping like that. Again, be very gentle not to damage the cardboard tube. So I'm removing all the wax in top of the capacitor. See, it popped out. That's just want to show you. See, majority of wax came out. So what next I'm going to do, get this screw, put it in the center here. See, like that. Alright, you see the screw now is in the center and is holding it. It doesn't need to go all the way, enough to hold it. The purpose of doing this, when I hold it like here, I'm going to heat up the top. Meanwhile I'm heating it, press it down, it will pop out. Watch here. So you heat up like that. As soon as it gets hot, and press the cardboard down. You see, it came out like that. This is the capacitor inside. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use again the soldering iron and go inside and clean some of this wax as well. You don't need to take all of it out, just make it smooth so you can install the other capacitor inside. See, just I'm going around like that, the wax are coming out. Again, you do not need to remove all of it. You want to leave some wax in there. Alright, let's clean the tip of this solder so it doesn't smoke. It's a little messy job, but it's rewarding because with so many wax over this cardboard, that's why it's messy. To clean the surface of this, you can use also one of these slider. So I go around it like that, just a little bit, then I clean it. Also the other side as well, trying to get rid of as much as wax as I can. Alright, you see how clean it is now? It looks like a brand new. And that's of course inside. Here, as I mentioned, you do not need to clean more than this inside. You want to leave some of the wax there. As you see, this is a 0.05 microfarad. That's a 400 volt. As you know, you want to stay with the same range of volts or much higher. The one that I'm using, they're about 630 volts. Okay, it's looking good, isn't it? Of course, this is the capacitor that was inside that we removed. Next, I want to seal this cardboard tube so it lasts for a long time, and I want the lettering, you know, stay there. I don't want it to come off, so I'm going to use tacky glue to seal it. I'm going to add all the product that I'm using, as I mentioned earlier, in the description section of this video. Feel free to check it out. So to do this job, this wood I removed from the old paintbrush, those foam paintbrush is a wood. I have different size, you know, whenever I use them, then I keep the wood for this type of reason. You see, this is fit here perfect, like that. If you don't have that, get a straw, just a larger straw. Use the scissor, cut it in the half. As you see, I already cut this in the half. You see what I'm talking about? Already cut it. I can use that. If you don't have the wood, you see, you can use this. And it works perfect as well. Alright? So let's seal it. Just gently I go over and just put one layer of this tacky glue, the entire part of this. Make sure to cover it pretty good. See, there's glue everywhere now. So I get a container like this. I put this right here. Now I'm going to let it dry. When it dries, I will show you. Alright? This is a couple of hours later. The glue is totally dried. Let's take it out of here. See, it just looks fantastic. It's much easier to read. It's like a brand new. And also now it's protected. That tacky glue really does a great job. Alright? Next, we're going to measure this before we install it inside that tubing. One thing I suggest pretty highly, always measure the new capacitor before you install it, because you don't want to install it and later on you find out this one of those bad capacitors that it passed through the quality control. Alright, believe me, I find through the years once in a while the capacitors are bad, even they're brand new, so it's always a good idea to test it. So let's install this inside that container that we just put together. These are, as I mentioned earlier, is belong to the glue gun. You know, actually is the glue itself. I have several different sizes, different colors, as you can tell. They come in different colors. Usually what I do, I see which one actually fit inside the capacitor. Like this is a little large for it. That one as well. So I'm going to use the smaller size. I will show you what I'm planning to do, alright? So here I'm going to measure to see how much space I need. I need at least this much glue right here. Cut it. Alright. Like that. I'm going to cut them into half. Alright. You see what I'm doing, right? Be very careful with this, you don't cut yourself. Now I can open this like that. Install this inside. Like that. Now this goes here. going to use this soldering iron. I'm going to melt both sides. Let's melt this. I prefer to do it this way instead of using the glue gun, because this way you can control it much easier, so you can level it much faster as well. This is pretty quick this way. I'm going to clean it, take the extra off, just leveling it. As I mentioned earlier, this way I can control it much better than using the glue gun. Again, you can use different colors if you want to get a little darker, but it's looking excellent. See that? This one is done. Let's install it in the radio. Of course, next I'm going to measure to see this where it needs to be installed, and I'm going to mark the area right here and also the other side right here. As you see, I mark the area so I know how much wire is left over. This is where actually I'm going to start making pigtail end of this wire, both sides, so I can install it much easier in the radio. Let me show you how I actually do that. Alright, so you get a small screwdriver like this, you put it right there, then you start twisting this around this screwdriver, both sides where you marked, so you can install it in the radio. Let's focus on molded capacitors. Let's talk about this molded capacitor. There are different shape, different size. As I mentioned earlier, there might be a band like this, or the value actually recorded right here like a paper capacitors. So there are a couple of ways you can handle this. Since these are molded and sometimes they use epoxy inside, it's very hard to work on this thing, but there are two solutions for this. One of them, I suggest watch this video. I'm going to put a picture of it here. This one show you step by step how to create those type of cardboard case tubing, so you'll be able to install the new capacitor inside like what we just did. And the second way, I use some of these old capacitor that I removed from the radio, because some of my radios, it doesn't have that much value. So I install a new capacitor, but I hold on to the old one for this type of reason. Because you can actually use one of these, put a new capacitor in for the replacement of this type of capacitors. Of course, you can use any colored paper to match these colors. After you create something like this, you can actually glue that paper over here to match, the current capacitor that you're removing. It's a little detailed work. Sometimes I enjoy doing that because I try to my best to restore radios as close as original as possible. Again, that's my choice. Do you have to do this? Really, no. But that's what I do. Just want to share with you. Hopefully this can help you as well. Again, I suggest very highly to watch this video. It will help you step by step how to create cardboard tubing. Also in that video, I went through the detail how to create a logo for any type of capacitor. Hopefully this will assist you as well. I'll be honest with you, it takes so much time to make these videos, editing, uploading, and make sure there's enough information that it actually makes sense you want to follow. At this time, I want to take the opportunity and thank my subscribers with their uplifting comments. You always encourage me to upload more videos, since this is just a hobby of mine. Again, I appreciate you. Enjoy all these videos, and you all have an awesome day. Take care. If you're interested to see more videos like this, feel free to subscribe to my channel, and you will be notified when a new video being uploaded. You have a great day.